Welcome back, everyone, to the Shadow Files. We got our guys here, Jeremy, Gary, and we're going to talk about
Thought he was
intergalactic
gonna say, I forgot his name
portals.
for a sec.
No,
No,
I mean,
name.
does the host usually says their names?
Yes.
So my name's
Do you want
Fernando.
me to start
I'm
again?
from-
I am from
I
Mexico.
think our viewers are very much used to our blooper reels.
Well, this is staying in then.
Yeah. So how you guys doing?
Good.
Been busy,
Yes,
tired. My face hurts.
work. So today's topic is going to be intergalactic portals. So since I haven't heard from Jeremy for such a long time,
What, you think you fell down
Yes.
one?
I mean, I could have. But so by portals, do you mean like typical intergalactic portals? Or are you talking more about wormholes and creation of wormholes?
what would be the difference?
All of the above?
One's for worms. No. Well, no, well, you've got your intergalactic portals and you've got wormholes. You know, with having those portals, is that like a limited galaxy timeline? You can just,
Well, I
go from
mean,
one to the
I have read some articles
Potentially, yeah.
putting together the multiverse with these
Mhm.
intergalactic portals.
So that'll be like with the Flash. If you've watched that TV series.
I actually enjoy the TV series a lot more, but yeah,
So, you know, how they have the portal and he goes to the different timelines.
yep.
Yeah, so that's Gary looks lost.
No, I'm just listening.
It's just like, these two idiots.
That's what happens when you tell me to start off the podcast. I forget my name. I forget my
Wormhole, would the wormhole not be the path between two portals?
Potentially,
I mean-
yeah. I guess that's the way you'd look at it. The portal is the doorway and the wormhole is the corridor. Yes.
The intestines of the portal.
But it doesn't necessarily even mean, like you said, that they're all intergalactic, where they go from one part of the galaxy to the other, or to a different galaxy, or whatever. You know, some could be interdimensional, some can be interrealm, which I guess is another way of saying interdimensional as well. So it's a very quiet one, this one.
It is, because I'm just trying to get my head around it just a little bit.
Yeah, doing some. There's just a lot of
Variabilities.
pictures, but not really information. And from what I could tell, it is a plausible. I mean, do you guys believe in it?
It's been mathematically proven that they are
It's a
possible.
possibility.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. But is it going to be the whole, like, here's a big piece of stone or metal, and then you got the glyphs in between, and you got to get them all lit up before the portal
Stargate.
opens? I know that's Stargate. It's still a portal.
Yeah. You know, nobody really knows what they look like. There's a TV show. There's a movie called Crossworld, which is an old one with Rutger Hauer. And where that differentiates is the portals that they use there are just in everyday world. It's not like you see a big swirly
Yeah.
waterfall thing happen. You know, it's just a matter of if you know where to go and how to approach it, you can walk through it and you can actually traverse different realities.
And then that kind of, here's one for Fernando. Would you think that your bedroom closet is a portal?
For some,
No, I mean, like, with your
it might even
history
be a
and
big TV screen.
no, but you know what I mean? Like, with your history saying, you know, with what you experienced as a child, you know, would that kind of fall under the same sort of category here? I know you started with interdimensional, but who's to say that can't access to that?
I mean, with my very first paranormal experience, yeah, because you know, like how I've said before, I'm not gonna say I was visited by the boogeyman, but something did seem to come out of my closet. It's just kind of weird, the thought that there's an intergalactic portal in my closet right next to my
Could be, yeah.
undies. But
So you got to meet John Wick? Yeah, the boogeyman.
oh man,
He's not the boogeyman. He's Bubba.
killed the boogeyman.
He's the one that kills the boogeyman.
That's right.
Yes. But you know, that's a good theory of what But then I thought more or less these portals were more positioned, like more solitary in one area.
Not necessarily. If you look at, I mean, go back through mathematics, right? Einstein, the Einstein-Rosen bridge. It has been mathematically proven that it is possible, but at this point in time, the energy required to create one is beyond our technology. Doesn't mean to say that later down the track we will have that ability, or other species that are much older than us and much more advanced than us have that ability. That could explain many things, how UFOs just appear in the skies out of nowhere and then disappear into nowhere. It's a possibility for a lot of Bigfoot sightings and how there's never any remains found. They can just walk in and out of realities. I'm not saying they're all technological. Some of them can be natural portals.
I really never thought of UFOs blinking in and out due to portals. More, I thought it was more than speed.
In some cases, but you think about the vast amount of power needed to send something right across interstellar space. Wouldn't it be easy just to create a wormhole, come out in orbit, and then come down to Earth?
It's so much
No, I
quicker to
mean,
get to
yeah,
the moon.
It's
for
so much
sure.
quicker to get
For sure.
everywhere.
You wait till they start bringing out portal guns like the game.
But
But
yeah, it's yeah.
it definitely makes you wonder, how if something like that is even possible in
Yeah, I think
reality.
it is.
Well,
How far advanced are these?
technically, your car door is a portal. You hop in it, you drive, you hop out. Boom.
An elevator technically is a portal. You walk in it, the doors close. When the doors open, you're somewhere else.
I mean,
No, but what I'm saying is they are
They are portals.
they are portals in our technological advancement. But what's not to
Technology.
say that those doorways can be much further advanced? I mean, if you go back to the original Star Trek,
Lion Witch in the Wardrobe.
everything they went through portals where suddenly they're in the Second World War or they're on the other side of the universe and things like that. It's something that's fascinated sci-fi people for a long time. But once, I mean, before all sci-fi, Einstein, like I said, proved that it is it is possible. It's just not mathematically doable at the moment because we don't have the technology to do it. But if you put the maths down, it does work.
no, I get it, and yeah, got to consider elevator some sort of portal. I mean, if we go down that hole, then if trains didn't have windows, then that would be a portal too. I mean, you walk in and come out at another area.
Windows have nothing to do with it.
No, it's just Microsoft.
Just can see
But
it.
if you see like it traveling, then it just becomes a vehicle.
No. If
Well,
you know
portal
what
technically-
Stargate Atlantis or Stargate Universe or Stargate SG-1 or Stargate, they go through the big tunnely thing and then they pop out the other end.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's, I mean, there's even talks in 2017 about what was it? Not hypothetical, theoretical physicists were talking about using portals to bridge from theoretical physics to using dark matter and into the darker side of physics.
So
Yeah,
let's
it's
just
been
say,
looked at by science. It's just not at a level where it can be put into practice yet. I mean, I guess when you look at things like the Large Hadron Collider and things like that, where they're trying to smash atoms together and look into the God particle and, 0 point energy, where you can pretty much use that kind of technology to create an energy source that can power more sophisticated and more advanced, vehicles, starships, whatever you want to call them. They're already looking into all of that kind of technology, and they're probably much further advanced than what we'll ever know.
that is for sure.
And
You know,
just
it's
shaking
funny.
his head.
It's like
Well, no, it's like Area 51. He was it? Who was it? They reverse engineered and found out there was a new element that they were using for that powering. I think it wasn't Bob Lazar, or was it?
Well, he was working on it. He's the one that came up with
Yeah.
element 115.
Yeah, that's it. 115. That's what I was thinking. The MC, the Moscovium. That's
Yeah.
it. Yeah. So,
So
really-
you
And
know
that's
what's-
now, that's now on the periodic table, but it
yeah,
wasn't
exactly.
before.
Well, you've got 117, 115, and 113 are the latest editions, but that was in 2016. So,
and these are all heavy elements and fairly unstable.
speech patterns unstable.
All I'm
So no,
saying is that if you go online and just try and do some research, it kind of throws you off just because there is very little articles for something so popular. But then, it kind of throws you into a loop when you see, for example, a Rick and Morty Wikipedia talking about portal technology. You know what?
But
Let me.
there's been a cult following of it from video games since before I can remember. Then there's a TV shows like Gary said. The problem is you got to search these things, and a lot of things comes up for movies or games that have been done.
I mean, you go into what we do, right? We're all paranormal investigators and things like that. And one of the things that you both know that I've talked about in the past, and that is that not every haunting is your great auntie Sally coming back to say hello and tell you where she's hidden all the money and stuff like that. Some of these things are you're getting a glimpse into a alternate reality or into a different timeline. We had that actually come through down at Albany. So is that timeline coexisting with us? And if we can come to the conclusion that that's happening, then there's going to be much more than just the one that are happening. And if we're getting close enough that we can actually contact and get communication going between the two, you would have to inevitably think that at some points the veil is that thin that you could potentially walk through and into the other reality. And that, by definition, is a portal. It's not necessarily going to be a big swirly light that you walk into. It could just be you walk through a room, or anything like that, and you just, if it's there, it's there.
Well, so
And these things, could pop up and disappear at random, which could explain a lot of the backrooms type stuff. People just phase out of existence, and then suddenly they're in the backrooms.
So then where do vortexes come on this, with these portals?
Well, the vortexes are those big swirly things.
Because you've also got that guy, which I think spoke to you, or maybe a year ago about, that opened up the supposed portal to Sedona in his bedroom.
Yes.
Now, I'm pretty sure that may have been debunked already. I'm not sure. I haven't looked into it since. But, you look at the videos that he had and he was using frequencies.
Yeah, and they reckon a lot of it is tuning into certain frequencies. And once you align a frequency with the active frequency there, it's like what they say is the only difference between different objects and things like that is that that's solid because it's vibrating at a different frequency to what we are. We're all, we're all made of water and air gaps and, all this other stuff. But because we vibrate at different frequencies, we have solids like that. But if we can match the same sort of frequency, say if we can adjust our body to match the same frequency as a wall, technically you'd be able to pass right through the wall. And it would be the same for the wall to a reality as well.
Yes, I mean, and being if that guy actually did create a portal to Sedona, it kind of makes sense being that it is known for its healing and spiritual enlightenment. Yeah. Through that place is what it's known for.
Yeah. And again, you talk about the vortexes and how he made one in his bedroom. That, again, goes back to that TV show that used to be on with Jerry O'Donnell, and it called Sliders.
Yep.
He was trying to create a anti-gravity device, and he inadvertently created a vortex machine, which they traveled into another alternate reality, and they got stuck there. They came back before they were supposed to, and that's where the TV show starts off. They're just trying to get back to our Earth, but they just keep traveling to alternate Earths where, something as simple as in one reality, Elvis didn't die and he's still doing concerts at Las Vegas. And then there's other ones where witchcraft became the dominant religion over the planet opposed to Catholicism or Christianity or, Islam. And the reality behind that. And then there's another reality where the Germans won the war. And these are all different things, And it's like we've discussed this before, is if you were able to go back in time, and I know this, if there's a certain person watching this who's watched our JFK, if you were able to go back in time and save JFK from being assassinated, how would that change the world?
It would change it dramatically.
We would have no idea what the effects would be, but we definitely see there would be, big.
in that case, yes, we would have no idea. But with what we have now in the hindsight, 100% it would change drastically.
Yeah. But this is where the whole thing about
JFK means no Trump.
not necessarily. We can't make that claim because we have got no idea what would happen between 1963 and.
Well, the Twin Towers would probably still be standing if he was going to release what it supposedly was said to be.
That's the interesting thing about this whole thing.
There would have been more of a war on government rather than war on terror.
So basically, there's a very thin line between time travel and these portals.
Well, technically, wouldn't portals be a form of time travel?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Technically, it is. It doesn't matter how technically you get it. It is. It's fundamental.
We'll figure out how to do it, and then we'll just have a portal to Fernando's backyard for barbecues. We're good.
I mean, that'll definitely beat the flight expenses. Hell yeah.
Oh, I don't know about that. It'd be bloody expensive to make a portal. Mom, the electricity bill.
Go into building one.
People, science, lasers.
Have you not seen E.T.? He built an intergalactic phone out of a speak and spell and a few other bits that were hanging around the house.
So what you're saying is we need to get MacGyver on board?
No, it'd take more than a piece of string and a bloody
paperclip and some tape.
But all I'm saying is when the understanding of it happens and they've actually been able to create it, then you can work out how simple it is to do. I mean, you look at now, right? When Speak and Spell came out, that was the duck's nuts for kids back in the day. But if you go back 50 years before that, they were still spinning spinny tops and things like that. This thing was like military level technology to somebody 50 years ago. So, you know, we're into kids now. They've got iPads, they've got this, they've got that. In another 50 years, what will kids have then? And they'll look back at iPads and go, that's just kids' toys. You know, you remember that show, that Matthew Broderick film, War Games, back from the 1980s, where he inadvertently almost started a thermonuclear war as part of a computer thing. But when they got in to actually get the computer, this computer was like rooms of data banks and things like that going away, and it had a like 16 megabyte memory. Now you have a flash stick with just gigabytes and terabytes of information on it.
Well, yeah, look at the size of mobile phone. Look at the size of mobile phones without storage at all.
I mean, go for it.
So going with the whole portals thing, now it's something we've talked about previous to it, what we've touched on. But wouldn't the chronovisor be a portal of sorts? A viewing portal? It's not really a travel portal. It's more of a viewing portal if it is what it is.
I know the one you're talking about, the one at the Vatican.
Yeah, the chronovisor, yeah.
I don't know if you would class it as a portal because it's not actually a portal is something that you travel through. It's creating supposedly a window to the past where they reckon that if you put it in right, you could actually watch the crucifixion happening and stuff.
But then was the whole portal that they had between, I think it was America and Ireland for viewing, was that just for a publicity stunt calling it a portal?
Possibly. In all honesty, if they had a real portal working, I don't think we would know about it.
Oh, they probably have already.
That's what I'm saying.
It goes from Area 51 to Area 52.
Well, I reckon most of the stuff from Area 51's over here at Pine Gap now, or one of the locations around Pine Gap, because
I wouldn't be
people don't
surprised.
think about America's top secret stuff being thrown out to a
different country. Yeah, that's what I mean. They had it written down as Dugway as well. Like, it has been said that a lot of it was done at Dugway through trusted sources, and that trusted source has a dead man switch to upload everything if something happens.
Yes, we know who you're talking about.
No. I'm just here thinking.
His last name sort of rhymes with beer.
He's got no idea.
I'm so lost. I just got stuck in this thing in my head that wouldn't time travel in a way. Would somebody in a coma for a very long time would feel the effects of time travel?
Because they would be unconscious.
But what if you have out-of-body experiences?
But they go under at one point in time, and if they last a very long time, since we know there's cases that there's people who lasted for years, they wake up, everything changes. Because in a couple of years...
Well, not really. That's like saying you sleep a portal.
Yeah, every time you go to sleep, you wake up and you're on the other side of a portal. No, I wouldn't count that.
And
But
stuff
that being
changes
said,
over the world.
No, I
yeah,
didn't say portal. I said a form of time travel.
no,
But
Hibernation, the bears don't
sleeping,
time
like,
travel.
like going to
mm,
sleep like normal and waking up, no, no. But
Well,
let's
that's like
say,
I
saying
like,
mean,
but that's like
we
saying
can go
is
off.
dementia time travel.
the what?
That's like asking if dementia is time travel
No,
No,
or Alzheimer's.
no, we're not going to
no,
go into that one tonight.
because because you don't really get out of it. But somebody in a coma,
Hmm.
there's a possibility for them to actually wake up and be functional again.
Yeah, but they haven't gone from one point to the second point. They've
They've still been there constantly. They just haven't been
even though they've
conscious.
been in a coma, their body has traveled through the time. You
Aged.
know, yeah, yeah. It's different if you say to somebody they went into a coma in 1986 and they wake up in 2636. That might be a bit different,
That'll be
but
a medical. That'll be a.
mhm.
That is for sure. That is for sure.
I've only had my 15th birthday. How old am I now?
See, it's still
So
it's the same about when you approach the speed of light. You know, because you've got to travel and then you've got to accelerate to the speed of light, and then you come back to Earth and you have to decelerate. You might have been gone for 15 minutes, but on Earth, like 100 years will have gone past. That is not a portal. That's just a mathematical
Just
reality.
travel.
Yeah. Because as you approach the speed of light, time as you understand it, thinking about it in a linear format, slows down because you're going almost the same speed as the light. So everything is like that in slow motion. So
since
it's only
you
seconds for you
are
while you're there, but when you slow back down to regular speed, as you're
You're
coming
pressing
back
fast
to
forward
Earth,
on the aging
Earth
process.
has still been traveling at the same speed as what it was. So a lot more time has passed. That's not a portal. That's just maths.
what?
That's maths.
Matt's. So,
Yeah.
what movie was it? I want to say it had possibly Matt Damon in it. That they
Rain Man.
went to space, and then due to their travels, was it like to Mars or something? Time went faster for them. For us, it went faster, or
Martian? The Martian or Elysium?
No, Elysium was where he went
was
to the
it?
moon, to the space station.
Mm.
Anyway, when
But
they
it,
came back, they were basically the same age or something like this, and everybody was older.
Yeah, it's the same. It's the same concept.
Wouldn't that be a form of time travel?
Nope.
I don't know. It's kind of
It seems
like
to be hurting Fernando's
you
brain.
guys,
This whole
man.
concept.
Yeah,
the
yeah,
brain
yeah.
ain't
It's like
braining.
all of this, man.
So 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 if
Like this
I
wormhole. It's crazy.
so if I'm in a jet plane and I break the sound barrier, I'm just traveling. I'm not in a
Hmm.
portal. I'm not time traveling.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but when you come back, you just got off a plane. But if you come back and people are older in age,
Yeah, but they if you were the one traveling, they wouldn't be older in age. You would be.
I thought it was the other way around.
I'm just seeing how much I can hurt Fernando's brain.
No, are you sure? Are you sure? I think you
My
got
brain
confused
ain't
there for a
braining.
second, buddy.
No, it's just funny watching your face go.
Yeah.
No,
We'll have to have a
man.
masterclass with him so he can understand what's going on.
Well,
From
then
this point to
you'll
this point, you're
definitely
going this
have more
way.
information than the internet on this. That's for sure. Because the internet is pretty much Rick and Morty.
You're looking at the wrong sites. Man.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, share them, share them.
Anyway, we're just about out of time. But what I did want to do just before we knock off for tonight. Last week we did a big investigation out. Well, say it now. Out in Serpentine and Jarradale, chasing yowies and doing a bit of ghost hunt now. So a few things happened there which caused the whole thing to finish early for us, unfortunately, but we have got some footage that I am putting together. So we did capture something on the thermal, which is interesting. So I'll show you all of that. But while we were there, Dion, who is one of our viewers, one of our regular viewers, and he's also one of our team members, actually created something for me, which is super cool.
It's a lollipop man.
No, check this out, right? That's not the site to look at, but check this out.
Holy moly. That is awesome.
It is absolutely brilliant. And the only reason it's here and not actually on the wall yet is because I haven't worked out where I want to put it. Because it has to be somewhere where everybody can see it. And
In between the wall and the TARDIS. Like in between your little lights and the TARDIS.
what little lights? There's a lot
Behind,
of little
so if you're looking at your screen directly, so to the right of your head, above the Halo mask.
That's what I was thinking. Was actually putting it
Or in the middle.
on the LED wall there. That's what I was actually thinking.
That is actually awesome.
It is. It's brilliant.
How
I
heavy
was
is
actually
it?
blown away when he gave us that. So I had to give a shout out to him because that
Dion,
is,
legend.
yeah, awesome stuff, mate. Awesome stuff.
Is
Anyway,
the
on that-
TARDIS a portal?
Yeah, that is.
I don't know why we didn't mention this earlier. It's sitting right behind you.
I know, but it's turned off at the moment.
Is it a portal or a time travel device?
I'll tell you something right quickly before we go.
Because it can go backwards and forwards.
And sideways and everything else. When I originally started creating this, I started looking up a lot of information to get the right colors and things like that. And I found out there's like 1,000 different colors. But what I did discover was there are certain websites and Facebook groups dedicated to making your own TARDIS. And people put photos in there and they were getting absolutely ripped up because that's the wrong blue. It should be CMYK 4265. You know, and we're getting carried away. So I said, I'm not putting a photo of this thing up because I got a color that I like. And you got to remember, every Doctor Who's got a different TARDIS. It's close to one of them, but there's different TARDISes. Some are nice and spanky new. See how you got the white sign behind? Some of them have a blue background. Some of them have a black background with white writing. Some don't have that St. John's sign on there. There are a whole load of different versions of it. So I thought I'm going to put a picture up and see what kind of a response I get. And I prefaced the whole thing by saying, I know it's not screen accurate, but I love it. What do you think?
Yeah. And your Windows.
I've had nothing but absolute praise over it. Everybody loves it. So I was actually blown away by that.
Your windows are too tall, they're not square enough.
Yeah, things like that.
Man.
But the side, it looks to what you want it to look. Everyone has slight different touch, like you're saying, different seasons.
Put it this way: if you look back there, you know what it is, don't you?
100%.
Of course.
That's all you need, as far as
So
I'm concerned.
so if they're being that picky over the color blue and whatnot that you're using, how do they feel about the Doctor being a female at one stage?
The Doctor keeps changing all the time, and the Doctor's just regenerated, and it's bloody now Rose Tyler. And that's just it's throwing me for a six, and I don't like it at all. I was a bit funny when Jodie Whittaker became the Doctor, but then I watched a couple of her episodes and I thought she was brilliant. I thought she was great. I think the writing let her down. And then when Ncuti Gatwa, I like him, the quirkiness of him as the Doctor, but there are certain things like literally he cries in every episode. That's not something the Doctor does. And this is something else that the writing from the Doctor Who has happened recently is it's turning more into a kid's show, whereas back in the Tom Baker days, there were some genuinely creepy things that would happen in Doctor Who.
Doctor
Even
Who
though
from Channel
they were
2.
given $55 an episode as a budget to shoot the bloody things, you know, they shot them in such a way that there were some actual creepy nemesis like the Cybermen back then. They looked ridiculous, but they were genuinely creepy.
So what were your views on the 11th Doctor compared to the 12th?
Hang on, which ones were they?
Well, the 12th Doctor was...
Not Chris Eccleston?
No. The 11th Doctor was Matt Smith?
I can honestly say I've never seen not one episode of Doctor Who, so I'm just going to stay.
Oh, Fernando. I thought we were friends.
When we finish recording this, I'm going to find a short clip just to show you how good it is.
Just to show him the one remaking the Dalek.
I saw the one
where he crashes in the wall.
Yeah,
that's the one I'm going to try and find.
You sent me a clip of this one episode with, I want to say, like, there's these beings that every time you turn around or something, it gets closer or something. Or
the Weeping Angels.
Yes. So what Doctor are they up to? The 13th, the 14th?
15th.
The 15th.
Although technically, there's another Doctor in there, John Hurt. That's not counted in the canon timeline.
That's right, because the 15th Doctor was the... Yeah.
And then they don't go into the fact that David Tennant's Doctor got split off. Part of him was left
that's
in an
true.
alternate universe when they closed that off. But
So the
then when
16th
Ncuti
Doctor is
Gatwa-
Billy Piper.
Yeah, but when Ncuti Gatwa came into being in the regeneration, it was a bi-generations because David Tennant was still there.
He was technically the
Ncuti Gatwa.
14th Doctor.
See, look, Fernando's not going. He's going. What the hell? The
But
original,
what about...
the original concept was the Doctor is a Time Lord, and the Time Lords can regenerate when they die, up to 12 times or something. I can't remember the original number. It was either 9, 12, or 15, whatever it was. But what's happened is then there was an incident that happened, and all the power from the TARDIS created this thing now. So he's got unlimited regenerations. So that's how they get away with when they get rid of one guy to bring another Doctor in.
Yeah, because wasn't David...
We're still talking.
I'm that if you guys keep on recording for another 10 minutes,
We should just do a
we
Doctor
could-
Who podcast. Who was your favorite Doctor?
10 more minutes, we could split this one episode into two. I'm just
Well, technically, it should go down one number of Doctors because David Tennant played Doctor 10 and Doctor 14.
It's a bit like Donald Trump being president 47 and 45.
I'm just Googling Doctor Who so then I could put in my 2 cents.
Well, put your 2 cents in worth quick because we're about to go.
Fernando, I don't like the Doctor.
I don't trust doctors. No.
That's not nice. The 11th Doctor was good.
So who is who's this? There were female doctors.
Yeah.
The best Doctor was Doctor Who. Dr. Seuss, obviously.
Dr. Seuss, you're throwing me off, man. Oh, so then who's the black guy? Is the
He was
black
Doctor
guy
Who.
Doctor Who too?
That's Doctor Who.
Don't be racist, man. The 15th Doctor.
So Doctor Who is not a specific character.
It's a Time Lord.
Yeah. He's a Time Lord. The last son of Gallifrey.
Hang on. Then there shouldn't have been female doctors then. If you're going off of the storyline and it's the last son...
Time Lords are a non-binary species, although they're always human.
Gary,
Sorry, we
what
should
a
have not done
corruption.
No, I agree. Yeah, there are certain things that shouldn't be messed with. It's like, yeah, look, we're
It's-
going to finish this show now.
Yep. We can finish this conversation at the end of the show.
Yeah, that's it.
The first
Anyway.
Doctor was the best.
Mm,
Here's the first Doctor.
but technically, there's another.
All right. Goodbye.
Yeah, we better go.
Do you know what? You should put that as
Have
an
a good
exit
one, you
now.
guys.
All right. Yep. The TARDIS. Man, I should have had the light on the TARDIS. I didn't turn the light on for all of that episode. Maybe we should do a Doctor Who episode next.
Yeah, we can if you'd like, because I suppose it kind of ties in with the whole time travel. Bit of fun. You might get some views from older people.
I mean, from the looks of it, from what you guys
I said
have,
older, not old.
Oh, wow.
from the looks of it, from everything else, I mean, the tortoise, what's it called?
No, it's not a tortoise. It's not a It's not a green reptile. Can you imagine that?
And relative dimension in space, the TARDIS.
Gary, so the next
There you
season
go.
of Doctor Who, they're all going to be jumping on an intergalactic turtle.
That would be cool. That would be cool.
Right, that's it. We are stopping this show right now.
Sounds great to me.
See you later.
See ya.